Alright, well, I wanted to follow that other video up because I got a little flustered talking about my dad, but here's the reason, each of us goes through a time where we want to be heard for what we're saying, not for what somebody else is thinking. Like I'm trying to tell my parents about the experience I've had, and they've heard me quite a few times, and they'll be like, wow, interesting. And I've seen them like be like, wow, that's really deep, and they're yeah, and then 2 seconds later, it's the weather or something about my job or something like that, and they're all stuck in that idea, and I understand why. So I also want to say, because I can see it here, like I've also been waiting to record these things until I had a good spot to record or something like that. But I'm done worrying about where I record or where I go to do it. The message is what matters. There is no Dan anymore. In fact, I wanted to do a couple things that aren't a big deal at all. But the same thing is, why are we hiding everything? Like, with my dad, like my whole life, say for the last decade, when my kids would want to, like, I wanted to see my kids, and my kids wanted to see me as a person, and I would have a day off or something. I could get them and I'd see them, and I'd want to call over and say, hey, can I come get the kids? And at that point in time, I was working so much and paying so much child support, I couldn't afford a place of my own. So I just sort of lived in my car, and I stayed wherever I could stay. I stayed with girls or I stayed with whoever, and then I'd pick up my kids on Sundays and I'd go out to my parents' house because I wanted to see my kids. And as soon as I had a day off, I'd be like, hey, can I bring the kids out? And it'd always be like, and either I would, or my mom would say, oh, Dad doesn't feel good today, or he's just not in the mood, he's a little grumpy. And I'm thinking, like, all I want to do is see my children, and I can't see them because Dad's grumpy. That brings up a topic right here that I think everyone can learn from. And it's not a bad thing about my dad. My dad is from his generation, and I love him so much. And I'm not trying to put him down. I'm not just trying to say that to like cover what I'm saying, because you can see the faults in people and love them. It teaches you lessons. Like my dad was brought up in a hard family. It's really not his fault that he's the way he is. It's a lot of his fault that he's not trying to work on changing it. And that's he can do that too. It's fine. I have nothing against that. Everyone is doing what they want to do. Fine. But I would think that a person has a family so that they can be part of it, watch them grow. And I say to them, like all those years when I wanted to bring the kids over, on the days when Mom would say, oh, not today because, your dad's not feeling so good, he's not feeling so hot. They knew that was the only place I could go, and that's the only place I could go because I couldn't afford somewhere else. I couldn't afford to do that. Then I had a girlfriend, and I could bring them over there, and I felt like I was using her, but I wasn't. I just wanted to see my kids, and I wanted them to meet her. And then I had an ex-girlfriend who made it a big deal because I can't help it when I'm paying so much in child support and working so much that I don't have a place of my own. So I have no choice but to go somewhere else. So I had all these kind of things happening, Anyway, there are so many things to say that I want to stay on that topic because it's really hard for me to talk about my people everyday life, but I'm using it as an example. Like here, I want my dad to hear me. Instead, he's worried about my job. And when I tell him some stuff, like I'll say right to him what the issue is, and he'll get mad and be like, "You're really starting to piss me off." And I'm like, because I told him I want him to stop watching the news because the news is training your brain, and we all know that. But some people will say, "Yeah," and then they watch it anyway. It doesn't make sense why people would do that. Like, turn off your TV. You don't want to see all those prescription commercials and whatever. They're just mind controlling. Mind control is all there is. Mind is all there is. Like, if you weren't thinking right now, what would you be? Nothing. So who cares about all the cool, crazy ideas you have if they're not beneficial to everyone else, not just you? So, now that I'm this far in the video, I wanted to say, if I was scared, or if I was lying, or if I was whatever, like, would I be smoking weed? Because I got this pipe, because my son and my best friend Eric, who died, they both like Rasta. So I got that for them. Plus I know that marijuana is medicinal, completely medicinal. I smoke weed every day, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not going to go around smoking it in front of people or whatever, but I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to say, oh, it's bad. And if somebody brings it up, I'll say, yeah, I smoke weed. I'm not going to say cannabis. I'm not going to say, hey, I take CBD. Weed. I smoke weed. And when I smoke it, it's just a name. Yes, it is. Words and letters do matter, but I love it. I love it for what it is. I know what it is. I was it. I am it. It just sounds wild to say that. So anyway, I'll get back to what I was saying, because I don't want to detour. Also, if I cared what people thought, when I take my teeth out, hey guys, I ain't got no fucking teeth. Dan lost them a long time ago. Because he grew up looking at his mom and dad having no teeth, scared that he wasn't going to have no teeth. And guess what? It happened to him, no matter how much you took care of him. And they can actually attest for that if you want proof of some sort. I don't care if you believe me or not. But I did take awesome care of my teeth. But what it is your brain works against you. That's another one right there. That's just how it happened. I even put them back in because I like the way I sound with them in. That's the only reason I wear them, or else I wouldn't wear them. It's like we go around our whole lives being afraid to be ourselves. I have these in, like I said, because I sound better with them, and it feels better in my mouth. It keeps my jaw the way it is. And these are an actual reconstruction of what my teeth looked like, because I took care of them. They just fell apart. The enamel, whatever the hell. Probably the fluoride that was in all the water. And said, hey man, stop drinking this city water. I'm just joking, I wasn't drinking no city water. But it's just the way your mind works. When you're afraid of something, it happens too. When you live in love with something, it starts happening. When you can keep yourself living in love, it always happens. I'm in love. I live there. And anyone who's been around me has noticed that everything I say, I'll say something, blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know, songs will play with those exact kind of words. The next song will be the next thing that I was just talking about. We'll go somewhere and I'll say something and it'll happen just after I say it. I'm at that point. I'm just not at the point where I can say it and have it happen at the same time all the time. At least I can't in front of people, because I feel what I call secondary belief system. I have primary belief system and I use it no problem, at will. I astral travel. I've seen everything I want to see. I've been through this world and back. So none of this stuff matters. So when I say this stuff, this is a guy who I can act normal if you want me to. I can act like Dan Alexander, who went to Seneca High School and graduated, owned a bread company, doesn't tell anybody that he smokes weed because the police will get him. They're a policy without the E. It's not Y, it's an E. It's people who uphold the rules that the big money people make. That's all that means. Everyone who's ever smoked weed knows that it's not bad for you, knows that it's not illegal. It's only illegal to the bad bird. And what's the bad bird? The ill eagle. The bald eagle. The ill eagle. It's evil. That's all it is. Big evil. Bald eagle. Ill eagle. They themselves are. If you just listen. I wrote this whole thing and I saw myself write the whole thing. That's the craziest part about it. And believe me, I know. I feel how you feel when I say that I remember writing every alphabet. I remember creating the world. I remember doing it. I experience what people call God. I call it God too, because it's just mathematically correct for an English-speaking person to say it. I'm not an English-speaking person. That's one of the many things I am. And if somebody doesn't get that, I could say, are you your body? And metaphysics goes into that. But I would say, are you everything your hands ever created? Are you the cells inside your right hand? Are you this drink until you drink it? You know, we've heard all these things before. But are you everyone you've ever seen and ever known? And it just, you know everything about them? You feel everything about them? You know everything that you never studied. And when people talk to you, you know where it's bullshit. Words don't matter. Words are just stuff we can explain stuff. And actually we create everything we say. Me doing this is just me subjecting some words, so it's not really doing nothing but putting that idea out there. There's nobody but you everywhere you go. And if you finally get that, it doesn't mean that there's no other pieces of you out there. There's nothing but you out there. I'm in here. And if you were me saying I'm in here, looking at me saying I'm in here, you'd still be the I that's in here. The living energy that is aware of itself is God. It's everything you've had, everything you will have, and everything you've got. In the moment, it's what you've got. You know? It's not that hard to understand that. It's a word. It's all it is. But I've actually been to the spiritual side. And I saw all the stuff that we've created through our words and through light and through numbers and through sound. It's the most amazing thing. And I can teach anybody how to do it. Even the bad people in the government. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of anybody. What are they going to do? Kill me? Let them. When I say I've already done it, I already have. I've died so many times. And I'm not happy about it. It's just when you know the horrible, it's not scary. Dying is like turning a light off. Getting hurt, falling down, and being scared, that's worse than dying. Each one of us has gone through a struggle where we're in pain. Oh, my stomach hurts so bad. Oh, I think I'm dying. No, that's actually worse. Way worse. And I know. And I don't care if anyone believes me. Like, it just is. Like, I don't have anything to prove anymore. I don't know what else to do, no. Like, what else would anybody else do? I don't care anything about money. I want to burn it all. I want to get all the money so that we can all live together on a place where we grow our food, feed each other, and help each other learn. It's not that hard. Why would that be hard? Because other people don't want to have a life like that. They want to wear suits and ties, and they want to do whatever they do, and want to have big things and skyscrapers, and we can do that too. But we can do that without the things we do in the meantime. There's a lot of stuff I could teach, and I don't want to sound too weird here, but a lot of stuff I could teach about just using our minds, not using robots. Robots are a helper, not a replacer. And we're making them replacers. It's sad. But anyway, I wanted to follow that up because I'm not really mad at anybody. I don't get mad at people. Like, I love my dad. And as I was trying to explain it to him, he keeps just shaking his head and saying like, oh, the other day he said I was making him, like, it's really pissing me off. I'm like, no, Dad, it's not that what I'm saying is pissing you off and that I'm pissing you off specifically. It's the fact that I'm pointing out the things that you have wrong, and no parent wants their child to say what's wrong. But the child, or the son of him, doesn't want to see him in pain anymore. And I know I can heal him. I know I can. He just doesn't believe I can. And that's the issue with most things in the world. When you don't think you can, you won't. It's pretty damn simple, but it goes deeper and deeper and deeper the more you still yourself. All the metaphysicals and all the sciences and all the spiritual practices, they've all said stuff like that. We know that scientists can study better when they concentrate. We know that people can do just about anything better when they concentrate. And all gurus have had their experiences in samadhi or whatever, when they're like very still and very silent and very, subtle. And other people have had near-death experience where they suddenly become still. So those kind of things are things that you can do, but you have to get deeper and deeper into it. So nobody can make you do it. So if you don't do it, nobody can make it. And it's just like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I guess you're not interested in knowing the truth, because the truth is, well, that's not going to be the truth. How is it not? You were told a whole bunch of stuff your whole life. If you stop thinking about what words are saying to you and start hearing what your brain is saying to you, for a long enough period of time, you'll realize what's going on. And it's so deep and magical and wonderful that all you want to do is share it. And most people that have seen it haven't seen it the way I have. And I'm not trying to put them down. I love the fact that people are out there trying. I've done this. I've lived the lives of all of them. All of them. And I don't want to start naming names because people make a big deal out of names. When you've lived forever, you've been all the big names. It doesn't matter what the names were. They didn't care what their names were. None of them care what anybody's name is. When it comes down to it, you use it as a reference. You have to know that. If I was to say I saw this movie with Jack Nicholson, if I said I saw this movie with this guy and he was like, hey, and he was like, hey, and he looked like this and he had to, hey, you wouldn't understand. So we got to give everybody a distinct title. Those titles are not just written in the stars. They're written from the stars. They go back to the stars. They go to the earth. They go back to the sky. It's so wild, and it's so deep, and it's such a long process that nobody's ever been able to understand and explain it. That's why I'm so fascinated and so excited and honored and blessed by God that I am able to. I am able to. But I'm not going to do it until I feel safe enough to say it in front of enough people, before I know that, just like everybody else that I've been that have came out to say something before enough people heard about it and followed it and backed it up and acted on it, I'd be killed. And I don't want to put my family through that this time, because I'm them too. And that adds more to the stress. You can be so close. No cigar. Right there. Just like you were just about to get it. Done. I've had that many lives, and I'm not going to be ashamed to say that, because it's the truth. I don't want that to happen this lifetime. I don't want to die knowing the truth and having everybody else right here, right where I can help them. And they don't pay attention. And then the people that are supposed to be the ones that care are the ones who kill me every time in that situation. except the lives that I didn't remember. And the lives that I didn't remember, I can pinpoint and focus on which one I want to remember. But I don't want to capitalize on people and make money as a fortune teller or a mind reader or someone who digs into your past life regression. Ding dong, you've had all of them. So quit trying to worry about one. Quit going to somebody to treat you for a problem that's in your head. I will treat you for free. And I'll lead you to other people. If you don't want to hear my stuff, watch free YouTube videos of people that are peaceful. But instead, people are choosing not to do peaceful things and thinking, I'm peaceful. It's not hurting me to watch all this violence. It's not hurting me to think this way and talk this way. How ignorant and stupid is that? Like, vulgarity is one thing. That's when you use it in a morbid and grotesque way. But when you use it in just a way to, it's a word. If you say, oh shit, oh my God, yes you are. That's different than if you say, you ain't nothing but shit. That's vulgarity. There's a slang to it. We know why they're called slang words. We know why they're called curse words. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for now. I love my dad, and I'm sorry, Dad, if you ever end up watching my videos, you know, it's a little insulting when I know my parents say they love me. But if I say I've had this experience and I haven't changed for 3 years, I can't. I try to hide it because I know people don't want to hear it. But now I have to because it's all I can do. I don't want to lie anymore. So I'm telling the truth. And as crazy as it sounds as far from the truth as there could be. I know that. So now it sort of is insulting to me when I've poured my heart out to my parents, poured my heart out more than I could do. And I'm trying to do it for everybody. I'm trying to be the most honest person anyone's ever met. Not trying to be, I'm using words. I just am. I can't lie. If I lie, I hurt. So anyway, after all these years of all that stuff, on top of it all, when I tell my dad about these meaningful things, and he knows I have like 100 videos on between my 2 channels, and he hasn't watched maybe 2 or 3 of them, and that's only because someone else has showed them to him. It shows me that he really cares about or is interested in his son. Or for that case, my brothers, you know, I know everyone's busy, but they watch TV shows, they watch things, and when I'm saying that I'm trying to help the world, heal the world, and speak the truth, and my own family doesn't watch, it's a little insulting. But my whole family is the world. My whole family is the galaxy. In fact, I could tell you guys, and I will tell you guys, amazing things in the future. But we don't need to know that stuff right now. We need to get things done and save this world while we're here. And not go explore Mars and moons. And we don't need to worry about that right now. I'll tell you why we did when we get there. But anyway, I love you guys. And until next time, believe it or not, it's fine. I love you. Peace.